Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses, if we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Absolutely. Welcome to the Glory Stories spiritual networking platform, allowing and seeking to honor God's glory by allowing individuals to share their testimonies as well as their stories. We have a great segment interview for you this evening. A gentleman that, as you can see, Hillside alumni. I went to Hillside for individuals that know and do not. Just a legend in the Durham community. So I was like, have to priority for me to have him joining us. It was definitely a priority for me to have him join us. I'm very much honored and thankful just for the opportunity. I'm, this was something that I was like, have to have him join again. But again, I look forward to allowing you all to hear and hearing his testimony. But without further ado, his name is Mr. Wendell Tabb. Let's get him in here. Mr. Tabb.
Well, hello. How are you?
How you doing, sir? I'm well. I'm well. How about yourself?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Each day is a great day for me. So, uh,
Yeah.
and that's how I look at life. Each day is a great day.
Absolutely, definitely, man. Like I kind of gave a little brief intro, telling the people about just you're a legend in the Durham community. Just talk to I would say right now, currently, you're in a correct from what you were doing.
And I say that again. You froze up on my end. So yeah, you
Okay, I
froze.
got you now. Yeah, it froze for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try it again. What was the
Yeah.
question?
Okay. Yeah. So go ahead. I was just saying, speak to you're currently retired, correct? Like what are you doing right now in this space right now? Where are you on your life? Where are you?
Right. Well, you know what? People use the word retired, retirement, and so I'm going to say that I am transitioning from
Yeah.
one little part of one chapter of my life story to another. So yes, retired from Hillside High School, Durham Public Schools, or retired from working for the state of North Carolina.
Right.
uh, but but I'm transitioning over to just doing even more things that I always wanted to do, and especially in theater, but also more community involvement.
Absolutely love it. Well, here on the Glory Stories, man, we like to drop them in the fire early on. So I got some. I'm gonna share this screen. It's called the quick hits, right? And
Okay.
you don't know nothing about them. I just want to, all fun and games. So y'all don't judge Mr. Tabb. He don't know these. He don't know. I just throw them in there. But we'll see. We'll see what he got. Here we go. So here go the quick hits. Number one. It says, "What kind of murderer is full of fiber?" And some of these quick hits, they can be riddles. Majority of them, I'm gonna give you a hint. They kind of riddles, or it could just be whatever. But just take a gander at it. What kind of murderer is full of fiber?
um, a uh, a dumb murderer.
A dumb murderer. Well, I got you. You're close, but we'll
Okay.
go with a serial killer. Right?
Okay.
Serial killers. That's that. Serial killer, fiber. Eating
Right.
cereal, whatever
I got
meal.
you. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah.
Well,
So that.
I'm in theater now, so my answers may be theatrical.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. Nothing wrong with it. Here we go. If
Okay.
I have branches but no fruit, trunk, or leaves, what am
Um, a bear tree.
I? No, that ain't bad. That ain't bad. It's actually a bank, right?
Oh,
I got different branches. Yeah,
right.
right. Yeah, different branches, right? You got this branch, that branch. So it's a bank. Here we go.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Okay.
and lastly, here we go.
Okay.
Number 3. I'm an odd number. I take I take away a letter and I become even. What number am I?
Okay. I'm an odd number.
Yep,
Take away a letter.
absolutely.
Uh, take away a letter and I become even. What number am I? Um,
This
forgotten.
is a good one.
um, I think differently out the box now. So I'm an odd
Yeah.
number, but you're gonna take away a letter.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. And then I become even. What number am I? Um, I don't know. That's a good one. That is really a good one.
What you got?
I'm, I wanted to say I'm a zero, but I don't know.
It's actually 7.
Seven.
It's
So
7.
it's seven.
So yeah. So SEVEN. You just take the S off. 7, and I become even. That's why
Right.
I'm an odd number. Yeah. Take the letter off. I become even. But no,
Okay.
definitely. Those were our quick hits, man. Like to do those just to kind of
Okay.
set the
Those are really good. What makes you think?
yeah. Try and definitely throw you in the let you think a little bit before we
Put me in the
jump
fire.
into it.
So maybe that's why I needed to retire.
No, no, that's awesome, man. But so we're gonna jump into it. Like you alluded to, all stories have chapters, and throughout, we are generally, familiar with I would say the conclusion, so to speak, or the climax, or seeing the accolades and those sorts, But and we vaguely seem to lose sight of how that potential story, how did we get to this potential ending, right, and the finished product. And I know for you it was a grind. To just talk to a little bit about your life growing up, being a kid in grade school, your parents, family. Just start there.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Franklin County, Lewisburg, North Carolina, and you know, my mom was a teacher. So my mom being an educator, and my dad was a businessman. So I had those kind of two foundations from the business side of things, and then from education. Um, I, I got both worlds, and being from the country, I did a lot of putting in tobacco, picking cucumbers, those kind of farming things that my cousins were doing, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if this is what I want to do. So I'm out
Right.
there, out there in the fields, and all I want to do is make people laugh. All I
Yeah.
want I want to do is imitate people, and have people falling out in the field laughing, and
Yeah. They hot and laughing. You want them
they're
hot and laughing.
hot standing, and and saying, we say stuff like, boy, you need to stop, and when you say, boy, you need to stop, that keep us going even more.
Right.
So we ain't gonna stop. It's kind of like when somebody's making you laugh, and and you holding your stomach like, man, you stop, don't say nothing else, don't say nothing else,
Yeah.
and they do it again, and they
Right.
do it again. So my life was like, I got to find a way out of this, and so being in elementary school, I did like the dances and musicals and things like that, like back then
Oh,
when
you
I
was a
was.
dancer?
Oh yeah, dancing was my first thing, was
Oh,
was dancing, and
okay.
so the dance teacher was the Spanish teacher, put us in these kind of Mayday kind of things that they have in school. And man, just listening to the audience applaud at the end of a performance, that did something to me. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. And so, going to high school, middle school, high school, being in, when you're from the country, most of the things that you're going to do is, be into sports. So I was a
Right.
baseball
Absolutely.
player. I played basketball. My high school didn't have football or track at the time. And so I'm like, sports is everything. Everybody talks about sports, but no one talks about, the arts. No one's talking about theater. Nobody's
And
talking
your middle
about.
school and high school, for those that don't know, middle school, high school, what schools did you go attend?
Okay, well, I went to school called Gold Sand. Gold Sand
Never
Middle
heard of
School.
it.
No, that's right.
Okay.
You won't. Doesn't even exist. And then by the time when I became a junior, that school decided to become the high school decided to become an elementary school, and then
Okay.
I ended up at Lewisburg High School. So, and then
Okay.
when I get to Lewisburg High School, which is in the city, the township, then I experienced football. I didn't play football, but
Right.
they had a football team. They had a track. They had a
Right.
track team, and so
Yeah. They got the whole nine. All the
yeah,
kids going there.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. So
Yeah.
'cause I was first at a 1A school, and now I'm at a 2A school that has more.
Right.
I get there, and everybody's still about sports. So I grew up as an athlete, but then my senior year in high school, we finally did a play. They did a senior play, and I was
Okay.
able to get in that play, and that's when I knew then, okay, I'm going to do this. Although people, probably like, what is he talking about? He going to be, he going to do theater. What is he talking about?
They
Uh,
always do that.
but when they came to the play, they were like, you were so good, and I didn't have that many lines, but every time I hit the stage,
I'm
like
on it.
I'm on it. They knew I was
Yeah.
there. They knew I was there. Um, and so I decided to go to college, North Carolina Central University, and major
Okay.
in
Eagle Pride.
Eagle Pride all day, Eagle Pride. And
Eagle
so
Pride.
I decided to major in it, but I did the behind the scenes stuff first, the building of the scenery, the lighting, the sound. So I got experience in that first, because once they find out that you want to do theater, first thing they're going to do is put you in the technical stuff, because they need those people. That's
Right. Makes sense.
why I advocate so hard for the behind the scenes people, because they're needed. But my goal was to get on that stage, and so once I did get on that stage as an actor, the I was bit by the bug. I was there. um, but then my senior year of college, you have to direct, and I think that's important for you to be put in positions where you have to do something to move,
Yeah. That's nice.
because that's how you're going to find out whether or not you may like something else, right?
Right.
So I directed my senior play, and I said, "Whoa, directing! This is it.
Uh-oh.
This is it." But because I understood behind the scenes stuff, I also knew about the actors, what they go through. I
Right.
think that made me a better director, because
Yeah.
I knew when to end rehearsal. I knew when the actors were probably tired, or
Right.
I knew when, okay, actors been on stage too long. I got to get these tech people on stage so they can do their lights and sound and paint and do all this. So I was very cognitive of the fact that everybody had a part in it, and that's a good thing in life. Know that everybody plays an important part, and you have to know when it's time for them to take the stage.
Oh man. Amen.
You know,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Big
and
time.
yeah, that's important. So from that, and I came to I did my student teaching in theater at Hillside, and what got me over at Hillside is because the young lady that was going to be doing her student teaching as well was a graduate of Hillside, and I'm not. She was Donna Boyd Deal, and she was a graduate. She was a graduate of Hillside, and she didn't want to go. She said, like, you know what? I just came from Hillside. I don't want to go. I don't want to do my student teaching there.
Right, want to do something different. Right.
Yeah. She wanted something different, and I'm like, I'll go over there.
Yeah.
I don't know them people.
Right.
Fine with me. I'll go. So I went over and I did my student teaching there. But then, I went on to grad school, and while I went on to graduate school, she then took the job as the theater teacher at Hillside. So she came back to be the theater teacher. Then she got a role in the movie The Color Purple. So once she got a role in the movie The Color Purple, then after being there a year to 2 years, she decided that she wanted to go out to California. Just finished working with Steven Spielberg, and so she wanted to go out to California. So I said, I'll do it. Yeah. I'll do it.
It is what it is. I'll do it. Yeah, bloom while I'm planting.
Yeah, and they paying. They got a check. I'm in grad school. I'm like, what? So I did that, and she so I was going to only be there for 1 year, just to finish because I was in graduate school, and that 1 year then turned into 2 years, and after the second year, I was like, these students over here are extremely talented. I mean,
they might got a little something.
They got something, and I shared with them. And I was like, what do y'all really want to do this? Tell me, do you really, really want to do this? And they like, and the band was the big thing at Hillside. So, and I'm like, okay, now I know the band is where it's at. So, but if y'all want me to be here, then it's going to be band and theater is where it's at.
Right. You gotta take it just as serious as you're going to take the band. You got to take theater just as serious.
And if I give up going to New York or California to do what I wanted to do, if I give that up, then whatever we do here has to be equivalent to what I'm giving up. So if I'm thinking Broadway, then the shows that we're going to do here has to be, Broadway like.
Right.
It's got to be Broadway like, because I'm going to create this new environment that I'm placing myself in, and it's going to take the place of me being in New York. It's going to take the place of going to California. So therefore, it has to be that. And so, of course, they were like, we want to do it. And they were, so talented. I'm like, y'all have the talent. But one, you don't really understand the hard work and the commitment and dedication that it's going to really take to do this. So let us build that first. Let us talk about, can you stay here for rehearsal?
Right.
See, the band comes in, they out there at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
They out there at 6 o'clock in the morning. You see what that is? That's discipline. That's commitment. Right? Okay, so we got
to do that.
Right. So the band out at 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, then I'm going to reverse it and say, can you stay here till 7? The school end. Are you committed to staying till 7? So from that, the students decided, Mr. Tabb, we want to do this. And so it was a joint effort. It was a commitment from them, and it was a commitment from me that I stayed 5 years and then reassessed again at 5 years. And they were getting so much media attention. And I was like, okay, you all are getting, people are noticing, they're taking notice of what you're doing. And so that 5 years turned into 10. And so here we go from 10 to 20. So people say, Mr. Tabb always said that he was going to be retiring. They heard it all the time. It's just Mr. Tabb's last year. This is Mr. Tabb's last year. And that is so true. It is true. I don't tell anybody yes, because I was only supposed to be there a year.
Right.
So after a year, every year was my last
Right.
my last year.
Right. A minute past a year.
Right.
It should have been my time. Yeah, yeah.
My time. And so staying, when I got to year 30, it was like, yep, this is it. I was like, yeah, for real, I'm gone this
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
I'm for real. And then these students, they come and I mean, people bringing me their little children talking about, no, you got to stay until they get to high school. Yeah,
I done dealt with you. I'm all right. Yeah.
So they bringing me babies and and saying, hey, and I got to hold the child. I'm holding them, and they looking at me, and I'm looking at them, and the parent talking about, they so talented, Mr. Tabb. You got to stay until they get to you. And I'm thinking, wait a minute now. So I honored as many of those requests as I could. So so that's how I ended up in year, doing 35 years, at Hillside, because I did want every child that wanted to follow their dreams. I wanted to give them a blueprint of what road to travel. Every road is different, but I wanted to say, hey, here's the path to where you're trying to get to. Now there are going to be some bumps and bruises on the way. There are going to be some people who are going to say, how you going to eat?
Right.
Don't do if you go do this, it's only a small percentage of people that make it in this. But now, just like what you're doing, you can create what you want to create. And I used to tell the parents all the time, I said, if you just go and sit in the movie theater and just look at the credits at the end, I said, if you look at the credits at the end, those are all jobs.
That's true.
Yeah, those are all jobs. And that's a long, and if you watch it, you can be sitting there for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, they got roll credits.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, those are jobs. So, let them pick and choose what they want to do, because some people may decide, I think I want to do acting, but then they realize, oh, I love stage managing, or I love producing, I love directing. Well, I want to be a casting director, maybe, and then you find people that then decide, you know what, I love being around, artists, but I want to be a chef, So now you can own your own catering business and provide, food.
Right. Thinking out, thinking about how you can, what fits your niche and how your niche can be, amplified in your particular environment. That's essentially what you say. Yeah, finding how your niche fits in.
Right. So I think that became, very important for me to articulate, to parents, or not even that, but also to guidance counselors, to administrators, to people in the district, that maybe didn't value the arts as much as I think they should have. But a lot of times it's educating everybody. And so my job was to put professional theater on the stage. And if they would just step out the box and come, that's all I asked, was say, hey, come see them. And then once you came to see them, then a lot of times you change your opinion, or viewpoint about, well, you know what? Yeah, my child likes doing this kind of stuff. So maybe I should let them explore even more.
Right.
Yeah, but with guidance.
Right.
you can't take your hand off of them still and just say, hey, just go to New York. I used to tell my students all the time, and they said, well, I want to go to New York. And I was like, okay, you want to go to New York, but do you have a plan?
Right.
And going to New York without a plan, that's how a lot of those people end up on the street, homeless.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they're some of the most talented artists. You hear people talk about that a lot in California, and they talk about Skid Row, and they talk about
Right.
all these artists that are there, but they are so gifted. Just having that plan that what, if maybe I have to have a part-time job that's very flexible
Exactly.
while I'm doing this.
Absolutely. And you talked about being gifted, man, and the Bible speaks to using your gifts, right? I think in James it tells us that every gift is from God, and we all have, I would say, different talents and God-given gifts, as you're alluding to, but they're all very important to God's kingdom. And in that, I believe in Corinthians, it also, I think Paul is talking about how they're all separate individuals, but we're all one body in different parts, but we all are one body in Christ. And with us speaking to the gifts, at what point, or time did you realize you were very gifted and blessed, like in the space of creative arts and drama specifically? Like, when was that aha type of moment for you?
I'm it's hard to me to say that I'm gifted. I hear other people saying it, right?
That's
And
it.
I hear other people saying it. I'm just following my divine purpose. So, I'm going, every time I tried to leave Hillside, there was always something that God said, not yet. I'm not done with you yet.
Man.
So, you can't leave right now. And how God would do it, it was like I would get an invitation or something to take the kids to another, internationally, and then my mind would go, man, here's this opportunity for our students to perform in Kenya. Dang, I can't leave them now, because God was like, look at what you're getting ready to do. You're getting ready to take these kids over to Kenya, East Africa, for an experience that they may not ordinarily would have gotten.
Good God.
So you can't leave yet. Or here again, here's an opportunity for us to do a show that most people will say, well, how did y'all get to do that show? And then you go, oh man, I got the rights to do this show, and the door opens. So now I gotta leave. I can't leave. I gotta stay here and do that show. So that's what I mean by following your divine purpose, because there's something that's going to reveal itself to say, you can't move yet. You can't move yet. Stay here and finish this course. What God has ordained you to do, you have to stay on target with it. And so there always going to be something that he places there that will give you the understanding, oh, I can't move just yet. And I'm gonna give you another one, and it may be far-fetched a little bit to some, but I was gonna leave it that before the pandemic. And then all of a sudden the pandemic hit, and God said, you can't leave the kids now.
Yeah.
You can't leave them now. They getting ready to go through this pandemic. They're gonna end up being online with somebody they don't know, and that your program could easily fall apart, or the kids could lose interest. So think about the kids, think about their well-being. So although I was fighting through it on that computer, I told the kids, I had fun, but I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Sometimes you just gotta be honest with kids.
Yeah.
And when I was honest, I was like, y'all, look, this is something new to me. But we gonna navigate.
I'm gonna figure it out though.
We gonna figure it out. And I call them by name. I said, now what I'm supposed to do there? How do I share my page? How do I share? I'm gonna make you a co-host.
Exactly. I gotta figure it out, man. And what you're speaking to also, man, is when you talk about him making you stay there, and it's like you can't do this yet because watch what's gonna happen, in this time. Watch what's gonna happen just in a little while. Just hold on just a little while longer. And to do that, it speaks to humbling yourselves, and those who humble themselves, will be exalted. And that's essentially what humbleness comes with: submission to God and what He's telling you. And that I can definitely I would probably say that I'm pretty much confident, and that is why you've had the success, being able to have that heart to submit yourself and to humble yourself to Him.
Right. Yeah. Well, and that's why when you go back to the gifts, I don't really know what my gifts are. I just do. It's kind of like the person who plays can play the piano really, really well, and they're just go sit at the piano and start playing, and they're having fun with it. But
absolutely.
And then everybody else tells them, you can really, oh man, you are so talented. You can really play, and they just sit there and they just play.
Just play. Just do it.
Play. Yeah, just do it. Just do it. So all of my career, I've just been doing it. I've been just doing it. And others have said, you're very talented, and so maybe some of my gifts from God was to be able to motivate students, and that in itself could be a gift from God, just to say,
absolutely,
hey, you have to inspire. Your gift is to inspire. Your gift is to encourage. Your gift is to motivate. And so sometimes I don't, you don't see those as gifts sometimes, because you're thinking about things that people actually do, like playing an instrument or something like that. But you're right. But a lot of times, those people who like work at daycare centers, and they can get all them little kids to do, to sit in a circle, that's a gift.
That is a big gift. Absolutely.
Gift. So, so I look at gifts a little different. There's a lot of ways I say people have a gift. So I just believe in the purpose. What purpose was I born to do? Why am I here? And I think I realized that after 35 years that God placed me, in as an educator, so that I can help other students recognize their gifts.
Yeah, big time. And like, John says, like, in the world, you will have tribulation, but he says, take heart, I have overcome the world. And I just bring that up because, you mentioned kind of not going and taking those particular things and staying where you are. So in those moments, you kind of may look at them like, when you face adversity, or that could have been a tough time for you, right? So just kind of speak to the adversity you may faced along your journey and career thus far, and how has it shaped your mindset towards your future?
Right. Well, one thing is, how do you balance life with theater? How do you balance family with theater when you have to be, in the theater late nights, and then you're still trying to raise a family,
Absolutely.
You have to be able to balance those things. And that's why it's also important to and God talk about finding the right mate, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find the person that also is going to be on your journey with you,
Absolutely.
on that journey with you. So my son talked about it at my retirement ball, where he said, well, look, I have thousands of brothers and sisters.
Mm.
He said, I have thousands of brothers and sisters, and just to hear him say that, it's like
Awful.
it was very powerful that
Mm.
although he was the only, he was the only child there,
Right.
in the house, that he knew that I respect what my daddy is doing, right? And
That
he
says
has
a lot.
he has included he has included us on his journey.
Mm.
So therefore, I'm going to take this as an opportunity for me to say, what is the positive in this? That I have more brothers and sisters,
Mm.
you know,
Oh my God.
because I'm on that journey with him. So adversity is definitely balancing family, or when issues come up, that I have to deal with, like when he's in school and I've got to go to, conferences, and
Oh
trying to balance that. And also having to balance the fact that I'm well known, and now
yeah.
how are others going to treat, my child, or treat my
Right.
wife, you know, um, because although everybody's not going to be for you.
Got that right.
Everybody's not going to be for you. So, and I try to tell my students, I say, even when you're doing the shows, whatever you're going through, everybody's not going to necessarily love Hillside Theater. Everybody's
Exactly.
not, everybody's not going to love Hillside High School,
Absolutely.
and Hillside High School could not have done anything to them.
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
Nothing at
Nothing.
all.
They don't even know nothing about it.
Don't even know anything about it,
Absolutely.
you know, and we find that in, like in people sometimes, especially with celebrities, or
Mm-hmm.
people we see on TV, we'll say, oh, I don't like their music, or I don't like them, and you don't even know them.
You don't even know.
You don't even know
Like
them.
you have no reason to dislike them because you haven't even had an encounter or anything. You
And
don't
no
know
encounter
them
with
just
them.
because of the position that they hold, or the credit or credibility that they have. And that's just like, the Pharisees didn't want to see Jesus for who he was, his miracle working power. Like, even though that they were, he was doing these miracles, like, it's like, how can a man do that? He can't do that. Like, no, he can't do that. And then he goes over there and do it. I witnessed him do it, and I still don't like him for doing it. Like, what? And that just shows us as humans, that, we're maybe we believe in Jesus. Like,
Mhm.
that tells us, with us trying to live our life as Jesus lived his, that we should experience, and we're going to experience the very same things. So
Yeah. Yeah. So, and so all that comes with the adversity,
hmm
how do you get, for people that may not support, Hillside, that may not, just like, what, we're just not going to support Hillside. You know, how do I navigate through all of that and
mm,
still get them what they need? And so you have to be really, really persistent. You have to um, just stay steadfast in the fact that, hey,
hmm
I know what these kids need, and I'm going to be an advocate for them, regardless of how I am perceived. Because
hmm
in the end, I'm doing this work for God,
mm. Amen.
because He has ordained or ordered my steps,
Absolutely.
and what I'm supposed to be doing. So therefore, if I know that these kids are being mistreated, or they are lacking certain things, then who is their spokesperson?
Mm.
You know,
Absolutely.
So if Jesus has his disciples, who will continue to speak his name?
Absolutely.
Who will say, hey, this is what we should
Abs-
be doing, right?
Absolutely. That's
So
it.
so I had to be that. A lot of times I didn't mind being the spokesperson for what is right for our children,
Mm-hmm.
and regardless of what however that panned out, I didn't even worry about it. I didn't even see it. I mean, I don't know. When you're advocating for certain things like equipment, lighting and sound, and just having your facilities upgraded,
Right.
different things like that. When you may see, oh, it's happening at another school, they getting this, they getting that, and
Yeah. What's going on?
what's going on here? And
Right.
so, when you start start knocking on people's doors and say, "Hey, I need to speak to you," you know,
Right.
why don't we have this? You know,
Exactly.
and people can always tell you, "Oh, well, well, you're getting it next year."
Right.
Of- next year you don't get it.
Exactly.
So then you're going back again. But a lot of times people will just leave the job. That's what I mean by being persistent, because people will just be like, you know what,
Mm.
forget it, I'm out.
Yeah, but
You
you
know,
just, I'm like, but it take a strong man to continue to, again, keep going, not quitting, not giving up. Like you
yeah,
said, being
yeah. I
persistent.
mean, that's how it has to be with family.
Absolutely.
Even when you're dealing with stuff, you can't just like, oh, you know what, it's done, over.
Right.
I'm not going. you know,
I'm
my
out of
family.
here.
It's. I mean, sometimes you can have family, and you can be like, ah, but that's
Right.
my family. But that's my
Right.
family.
Like, that's my, yeah, it's my family. I know. Yeah. Oh, Lord. Yeah. That's my people, though. Right.
That's my people, though. So,
Absolutely.
and then when you can view things like that, and and you can, like, when I go home, I can sit at the table with any of my family members back
Mm-hmm.
home, and it doesn't have to be about how much education they have or don't have. It doesn't have to be about what their job status is, or even if they're unemployed. It doesn't
Right.
matter, because that's still family, and
Absolutely.
you need to be able to communicate.
Absolutely.
God gives us a voice to be able to communicate, and so I look at the same way when students are in my classroom. You know, regardless of what their background is, social economic status, it doesn't even matter where they're coming from. You know,
Mm-hmm.
those are my students.
Deep.
Those are my students. So therefore, when they hit the stage, nobody knows their story.
Mm. Absolutely. That's deep. Yeah. That's powerful.
Nobody knows their story. Uh, so now everybody can view them all the same and say, "Wow, look at this ensemble of greatness for
Mm.
them." And they don't even know that they may be homeless, or they're going from house to house, or foster
Exactly.
kid or foster kid. But that's what I mean by the arts is so important, because when they all get together on that stage and you sit in that audience, then all of those things go away, and you don't
Mm-hmm.
even know, you don't know their story,
Mm-hmm. That's
you know,
deep.
but
Powerful.
they're being elevated. They're being elevated
Right. On stage.
on
It's like,
stage.
it's just, I'm just letting it go, man. It's
Um, um,
all, yeah, just all big, one happy, shebang, so to speak.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
I get to pour out my emotions, pour out my feelings, all of
Yeah.
those things that's going on. I get to release them at this moment.
Right. And at the end, when they can hear the applause,
Mm.
and they're going, you know what? Finally, somebody is recognizing my worth, and
That's
they can
powerful.
hear it. And people don't know it. I'm going to say this, and because it's a motivational thing, but when
Mm.
I would go to a lot of performances, and I'm not a critique of others' performances, because I think that there's going to always be something good in the
Absolutely.
in the process, and but I would always see, like, other races, they would automatically stand at the end. They would automatically give a standing ovation for their children.
Mm.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter how great it was, how
Yeah.
bad it was.
Right.
It did not matter, because what that was doing, that was building them up.
Mm-hmm. That's
And
strong.
right, they were building them up. And sometimes we just need to build our children up. Just build them up. Just build them up. Applaud them. When they're trying to do something good.
Absolutely.
Build them from that. Build them up. As opposed to criticizing what they didn't do. You should have done this. You should. Why didn't y'all do this?
Right. That wasn't
Find
that good. You did
right,
this, finding something wrong, trying to find
right,
something wrong, or finding a reason to not support something.
right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to uplifting them and finding something good in it, because anything that is of God, He is going to put something good in it.
Absolutely.
Something good is going to be in it. It's
It's
up
all
to us. It's up to
absolutely.
us to recognize it and find
Absolutely.
what is good, and then then we can motivate and uplift that kid, because there are a lot of times when kids can't, they may not be on the same reading level with each other. Kids come in with different disabilities and things like that. Well, what you do is you find, even if a kid who has a disability, God has also given that kid or a person something more in another area.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I
That is
guarantee you.
true.
I guarantee you.
That
But
is true.
but do we take the time to find out what it is?
Exactly.
Or do we just look at what we see as okay, there's a deficit there or deficiency there. So I'm gonna just concentrate on the deficiency, as opposed to going, oh wow, I didn't know they could play the piano.
Exactly. Hey, that's it. That's true. Finding the deficiency over, because it's like it's from what it looks like, this doesn't look normal, right?
Right.
As opposed to looking deeper and understanding that actually we got just as much a deficiency as that other person,
Correct.
and they have just as much sufficiency as we do in other
Correct.
areas,
Boy,
right?
you better preach it.
So so it's like that's exactly what you're saying there, and it's like it's amazing when you say that's how, unfortunately, like that's how a lot of the world operates. And it's only because a lot of the world operates like that because it's a sinful world and they haven't found the light in God, you know,
Right.
like, and when you find that light in God, you understand that He tells us that we should love our neighbor. So when you love your neighbor, when you love your family member, when you love a kid, when you love individuals,
Right.
you always find that grace and that sufficiency in them, and that's what it boils down to.
Right. Some of the most fun I used to have in class a lot of time was with the guys that first came in, and they hardcore.
Right.
They so hardcore. And I have my way of trying to here again, that gift. I don't know what it is, but it's a way of trying to of connecting with them. And so
Absolutely.
I'll get them on stage, right, and I'll say, oh, you come on up here and perform with me, then
Yeah.
and I'll give them a scene that they can relate to or something like that,
Right. Right.
and most of the time I'll be like, you know what, I want you to play the father, right, and I'm a child,
Mm.
and I'm a child, and I'm gonna play the teenager, and I just want to do what I want to do. I want to do what
Mm.
I want to do, and you can't tell me nothing because you won't hear. You left my mama and all this stuff. I throw all that in there, right?
Look,
And
them roles.
I reverse those roles, man. And
Wow.
and by the time they get into it, they become a real, this real stern
Yeah.
father. Like, you ain't coming here doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I said, boy,
Right.
where'd that come from?
Right. Right.
And then they in itself realize, wait a minute now. I just did life here on stage. I just performed life right here. These are real life situations, you know. And so now I'm connecting with them. Now I can say, oh, hey, you know, what happens when this cop, I'm gonna play the role of a cop and I'm gonna pull you over. Okay. All right. Now let's see how this is gonna play out. Now they're seeing how, oh, wait a minute. This is real life. This is real life stuff.
Absolutely.
So, right. So now the relationship, they came in class, you know, being tough, but now they want to know, hey, Mr. Tabb, why don't we try this? Let's try this. Now is, oh, what you want? What you thinking about? What you've seen? What's out there what's out there in the street?
Exactly.
Let's play this, you know, and then they can be talking, you know what? Then I can talk to them about, you know, wait a minute, we're going to do a scene on snitching. They like to talk about that. I said, oh, no, we're going to do this on snitching now. I said, now, this person that you running with in this whole group, they kidnapped your sister.
You're not going to tell? Right. You're not going to say nothing.
What, you don't want your sister back?
That's deep. That's deep. Absolutely.
You know, so they start changing, and you can start seeing now that even snitching is beginning to change a little bit, because now you hear the rappers talking about, yeah, they snitching in their songs now.
Right. Exactly. It's amazing, man.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy because that what you said is true. It's true.
Yeah. But finding that connection, and so even if that's the gift of mine, I don't know, but it's like God placed me in those situations to say, hey, let me see if I can reach this person or that person. And so, you know, didn't matter what student was in my class. It was like, no, you have a purpose for being here. And we're going to make the best of this. We're not going to, you know, if you got a situation going on, you know, we're not going to embarrass you because of your situation. You know, if you got okay, kids come in with ankle monitors on, you know, and then I'm like, okay, based on what you have on today, you don't want the kids to see that you got an ankle bracelet on or whatever, you know. And so I said, I got it, you know. But now when you get comfortable with it, tell your story.
Talk about it.
Tell your story. Tell your testimony. And tell your story the way you want it told. Because others will tell your story for you.
Got that right.
Right.
You know, that right.
And if you don't believe me, if you know, just wait till somebody die. You know, they will.
Just wait. You hear? Yeah, they read it. They read it. Yeah, they read it all. Yeah, that's right.
They're gonna tell
it. They're gonna tell it for you.
They'll tell your story for you.
They will. They will. Oh, and while we on this, man, I think it's a great segue into the inspirational, motivational thing that we like to call like the final focus. Right. And the final focus, I'm gonna get it shared for you. Let it come up, and then we'll get ready to close up for this evening. Here it is. Yes, sir.
Declare it to be true about you. You need to know that the enemy does. He knows that every single thing that God declares to be true about you, every word that has been declared over you in these last few days of this conference, even if you're not convinced about it, the enemy is. He knows that you have been forgiven. He knows that there is therefore now no condemnation
that I want to help you get to that you need to rip up your list. You have a list, whether you wrote it down or not. In relationships, in family, in business, in timeline, all of us have a list. What's your list? That God was nowhere a part of, but you just felt. Well, when I get 26, I'm gonna own my own business, and when I get 27, I'm gonna have 2 kids, and at 27, okay. And when I get 35, I'm gonna retire as a millionaire. God said, no. Your list for you, your purpose for you, your relationship for you, your impact for you looks nothing like what I have planned for you. See, this is the key I need everybody to understand. I'm trying to give you principles to build your relationship on. Your list factors in what you want. God's list factors in what you need.
Well, that was a final focus there, Mr. Tabb. I greatly appreciate it. And before we get off, I'd like to finish off with just, you said earlier, being a family guy, your husband, father, and we're quote unquote closing the chapter right now. You closed the chapter recently. What does the future look like for Mr. Wendell Tabb? What's next for you? What would you say?
Yeah, in this transition, of course, I'm still want to continue to do community theater with my annual Durham's Black Nativity, that we're going to be doing again this year, and we're coming back live this year, because we're
nice.
Since the pandemic. So we're coming back live this year on stage at Hillside for December. So your listeners should definitely be ready for that. And if they're looking for fundraising opportunities, they're looking to raise funds for their church or organization, give us, shout out to us, because, this is a great way for them to raise funds, because this is our way of giving back to the community. So it's community theater, and it's an opportunity for people to raise funds for their projects that they're trying to get off the ground as well. And then I'm also going to be working on getting an Easter show together for 2024.
Okay,
so,
nice.
Yeah, so 2024, they probably should look for an Easter show dealing with the resurrection, something real big. So of course, Triangle Performers Ensemble will be doing, a Black Nativity for dealing with the birth of Jesus, and then in 2024 we're going to deal with the resurrection. All right, so that's going to be the 2 major projects. I'm also looking to open a dinner theater for the city of Durham. So I'm still working on that, looking for spaces. So if anybody out there, knows somebody who's got a great building that can be a great dinner theater, looking for the space. So that's something that I want to do for Durham as well. And the reason I want to do the dinner theater is to give students or former students jobs in the industry. So to provide that network for them to come and work. Yeah, a training. It's almost like it'll be a training ground for a lot of them. Yeah. So that's what's there. I'm still looking to do some film stuff, and if I get the TV job, or role, gonna have to take it.
Yeah. No, definitely, absolutely, man. But yeah, I greatly, again, personally myself, man, I thank you. Man, you've been a legend around being a Durham kid, just growing up in the community. Always heard about what you've been doing, man. So I'm definitely a bit thankful for that, and I thank you all for watching. Continue to support Hillside, of course, Mr. Tabb, the Triangle Performance Ensemble, as well as continue to put God first. Continue to prioritize that. Understand that is keeping the main thing, as we like to say here. But again, Mr. Tabb, it was my honor, man. I look forward to possibly supporting what you have going on, as well as seeing the things that you're going to continue to do. Closing the chapter, done great, phenomenal work. Very excited about what's in store for you, man. And I thank you again.
I appreciate that. And one final thing that I want to say to all these young people out there: if you have a dream, follow that dream, make it a reality. Don't let anybody or anything validate your success. Don't let anybody validate your success. You be in charge of that.
Absolutely. That's a stamp. Mr. Tabb said it. Y'all heard it here best, man. Don't let anybody do it. Appreciate you again.
All right.
God bless y'all. See y'all next time.
All right.